Hey, everybody. Okay, I'm texting Karen and Hikaru for some reason. Yeah, he's coming over here now. This is a very important day today because not only is Hikaru coming on stream, but Karen had to miss music bingo because of it. God damn. I see. The thing is, I couldn't have started streaming at 9:30 or 10 because I'm on Chess TV from 9 to 11. So it's a tough day today, especially with Hikaru already streaming twice. All right. Well, I told them I'm streaming. Hello, etc. Yay! Hype train is close. There was some fake drama today, but everybody falls for drama. So we'll just say there was real drama because that way we get more views. Papa Gear subscribed. Thank you. And somebody else did something. Oh yeah, more 83 subscribed. More. Man, we lost 97 subs since my last stream. God damn. So the fake drama, the real drama, Young Born subscribed, is there was a brouhaha with Sevian and Hans during their game today. And then people are making it like, Sevian wanted to go fight and he was mad and he was throwing shit. And, I saw it and it was like, yeah, whatever. That was like nothing. I've seen worse from Hikaru more than once in slow chess. 200 sentences. So, because it was Hans's game, it was funny. But basically, while Hans was thinking about his move, Sevian picked up Hans's king, and then, that doesn't make any sense, then took the top off the king, and then Hans is like, "Что-то это, пожалуйста," and then Sevian still has the king, and then he threw it back on the board. It didn't make any sense. It's basically Sevian had a seizure for 10 seconds. So I don't know. And then Hans said it was a misunderstanding. When the game ended, they were discussing it in friendly terms, and then they were discussing it outside the chess club before Hans's interview. So neither one of them is angry. So I don't know what actually happened, because Hans was more interested in talking about the game than talking about what happened. But he basically said nothing happened, which was what I thought. But people in the chat are like, Sevian's going to fight Hans, and let's bet on the fight. And I think Hans will win. No, I think Sevian will win. All right, first of all, I've known Hans and Sevian since before you guys were born. They're not fighting. Sevian's never going to fight anybody. It's never going to happen. I don't think Hans will either. So there was never going to be a fight. I think there was a mild disagreement about something that doesn't matter. So basically it was nothing, but it's going to be, everybody's going to say, oh, this is what happened, and I saw it, and nothing happened. I've seen a lot worse in chess tournaments. People get angry for a second, or something weird happens. A lot of times, when people play in tournaments, they absentmindedly pick up a piece that's off the board and start twirling it. And that was what I thought happened. I thought Sevian, was going to pick up a piece and twirl it, Gelfand style. And then he picked up a piece on the board, and Hans is like, what's happening? And then he's like, oh, and threw the piece back because he was flustered. So, I don't know what happened, but it was weird what happened. It wasn't a violent thing, but people in the chat were like, oh, they're going to fight, and he asked him to step outside. I think Sevian noticed that the king had become detached, the top part, and he was pointing that out, and he wanted it fixed. And then the arbiters are like, what's going on? So it was mainly just confusion, but the crowd liked it because it was Hans's game. So, all right, now who am I supposed to thank here? What I mean was there was a terrible tension in the room. Samhain OG gave 1 cent to do. Shema, Shmlanatha, Shmlanathan, Shmlona, Shema subscribed to tier 1. Thanks, Shema. Okay, let's go. Hype train. 100 cent to do's. Yer Treo. Yeah. Etc. Hikaru, I mean, Hikaru are like that, son. So, I put the, I didn't want Hikaru to do any work, although he's about 100 million times better than me at doing stuff that's technical. I'm not sure why. Maybe because I'm bad at it. Or maybe because I want Karen to do it and I want to be lazy. That's also possible. So I sort of put the games that Hans played in the U.S. Championship already. Would have been better, I think, if Hikaru came tomorrow after the tournament so we could discuss Hans's last game, but the schedule didn't work out for that. So it was close, the penultimate round. Tomorrow, Hans plays a Wonder Liang, and I think Hans is white. And tomorrow, Fabi has white against Aronian. Yay, thanks, Carnus Magnusson, for the 5 subs. Hooray! And then Ray, I forgot who Ray Robson's playing. Darn. Yay, level 2 complete. Yay, Carnus Magnusson subscribed himself. Enjoy. Thank you. I do enjoy that. So we got 2 treats for you today. Naka's obviously a big draw, but he's going to look at Hans's games from the U.S. Championship and decide once and for all who cheated and when. We don't know if Hans ever cheated. The only thing that we know, like for sure, because we don't know if Hans cheated, but we do know, like we have to say what we know. We do know that Magnus cheated by having David Howell help him with moves. And we do know that Magnus's teammate cheated when his team played ours in the Pro Chess League. So the only thing we know for sure is Magnus cheats and he's around cheaters. That's all we know for sure. Whether Hans cheated is up in the air. That's not clear. Also, I think I don't know if this is true. A lot of people are saying that Magnus was good friends with Delugi. So I don't know. I mean, before Delugi met Hans. So I'm surprised to hear that. But it seems like, and not only that, but it seems like Hans is also friends with Robbie Jade Lou and with the G-Man. I mean, so he's around all kinds of weird stuff. It's very strange. And he became friends with them when he went to the World Series of Poker this year. And he met, a lot of people wanted his autograph and so forth. Although I don't think G-Man wanted his autograph. I think, there was a mutual respect, and so forth. I mean, about half the things I'm saying are true. That's more than when Trump says stuff. I'm like 50-50 over here. Go hype train. Yeah, a lot of people suspect that Hans and Magnus just started all this cheating stuff to bring more interest into chess. And basically to help Gotham Chess, Hikaru, and me get more views and stuff. They were talking about it, and they're like, how can we get Gotham Chess, Hikaru, and Ben more views? And they were like, aha. So I think it's just a fake news. That's my opinion. No, I didn't cheat against Morphe in 1786 because Morphe wasn't alive then. But nice try. That's right. Maxime Delugy was the USCF president. That is correct. Sort of like the Norwegian president cheated. Shape of Glue is gifting a sub. Hooray. Go Shape of Glue. Lost on the Way. What song is that? It's a song. Go Hype Train. Flat Sun Theorist subscribed. Hooray. Yeah, it's funny. Hikaru wanted to drive here, and Karen insisted on picking him up. And Hikaru, I mean, we're not going to we're going to treat him like royalty, obviously, frankly. And Hikaru was trying hard. He said, I'm an excellent driver, but we didn't believe him. And the reason he's late is Wapner was on, so he had to watch that before he showed up. But yeah, he's with Karen now. Hopefully it's just platonic. Yeah. The biggest kerfuffle when Yasser killed that guy. Ambitious Spoon 0 subscribed. Hooray! No, he's not here to be on my stream. He's just here. He has a friend in Sandy Springs. I think it's Sandy Springs. It's actually a guy that I know too, but we're acquaintances. Maybe you guys have heard of him, AJ Steigman. He and Hikaru are like that, son. AJ Steigman was the Waldboard kid at the 1994 U.S. Championship in Key West. He was like 7 years old. But that was in 1994. Now he's not 7 years old. God damn. Yeah, Hikaru's actually been to Atlanta before. He got paid by like 3 separate entities, I think, to give a simul at some mall. That was about 2 or 3 years ago. Who should you bet to win it all in the NBA? I don't know. Milwaukee. You happy? Do I follow the NBA? You mean like, do I follow them on Twitter? That's actually not true, what you just said about Hikaru disputing stuff. He told me on his stream today, he said he was coming here when somebody asked him. He watched a video about it. So you're banned. And your children's children. Wait, this is the second time somebody said Steve Carell or Ricky Gervais. You're banned. The Bears 9876. Steve Carell is like slightly less funny than me. So if it's like Steve Carell or me, probably most people would say me. I'm also probably a better actor. That's not clear. I mean, he's basically a nothing. See, what you guys learn on the internet is nonsense. You guys are like, oh, don't you hate Hikaru? And what about Karen and Hikaru? You know, you guys don't understand it's a show. That's like saying that Seinfeld in real life doesn't like Uncle Leo. Uncle Leo and Seinfeld were like, that son. That was like Seinfeld's favorite guy. But it's a television show. We're entertaining you. So remember that. It's all real. Everything you see on the internet's real. It's not for entertainment purposes. That's what I meant. So yeah, we all hate each other. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, Uncle Leo did die. That's true. We hopelessly want drama. I mean, there was almost drama today. People thought Sam Sevian and Hans Niemann were going to fight each other. Frankly, not likely. Hans is the innocentest. What's more amazing, Hans won 3 games in a row, or Talia Cervantes, my former student, won 5 games in a row. God damn. I mean, I can't believe Talia won 5 games in a row. Now she's tied for second, half a point behind. The Rock Obama 101 subscribed. Hooray. You're banned and your children's children. Man, I can't believe that Hikaru would troll you guys like that. Yeah, when you go to the live broadcast St. Louis does on the U.S. Championship, and it's, you know, Christian and Yasser and Anastasia, the chat is just nonstop about Hans. Show Hans's game. Show Hans's beads. Hans is the GOAT. Hans this, Hans that. Jebediah this, Ezekiel that. It's just nonstop chat about Hans. If you don't show Hans's game right now, I'm leaving. Oh no. Man, internet people are weird. And you guys are internet people. So. Beads, you say? Hans and Papa John's. Hans is tied for 4th place, I think. 4th through 8th. No, it wasn't me. It also people on the this isn't my channel. I'm talking about the YouTube for the St. Louis Chess Club. People on the YouTube channel for the St. Louis Chess Club try to ask questions to Yasser. They're like, "Hey Yasser, blah blah blah." The chances of Yasser reading the YouTube chat on the stream are much, much, much less than 0%. Okay, the only person who knows how low the percentage is Kelvin. He's the only one who knows. Shape of Glue gifted a sub. I mean, that would be like Yasser giving a reference from after 1980. It's not going to happen. He's not going to talk about players in the last 35 years. Ridiculous. Basically, it's Korchnoi, Lubojevic, Karpov, Kasparov. I don't know if he even mentions anybody else. This is the latest theory. Lubojevic played it in 1973. And I'm like, what? What's going on here? Oh, yeah, Spassky, too. Do I know who Doris Kearns Goodwin is? Yes, she was thrown off of PBS because she's a plagiarist. But she's a famous historian who did a lot of plagiarism, but it didn't really ruin her reputation very much. people still think she's great. So I've never heard of her, though. How many U.S. championships have I played in? 9! 9! And it actually is 9, so that's good. I'm cheating at Wordle? I am not. How do you cheat at Wordle? Somebody tell me how to cheat. No, that would make it less fun if I was cheating. Karen and I don't talk about Wordle until we're both done. We don't say how many we got it in or if it was easy or hard. We just say, did you do Wordle? And if the answer is yes, yes, then we talk about it. $9.99. Thanks, Samhain OG. You're an OG. Why would you cheat at Wordle? I mean, that doesn't even make any sense. Why do Wordle then? What? It's just silly. All right, we need somebody to donate 100 subs, at least. I take pictures a lot of my Wordles because we compare, me and Karen. So let me see if I have a picture of the catch one. Let's see. Where's Karen? No, those are just nudes. I might have a picture of catch. Because I remember that. Man, Karen and I text a lot. God damn. Well, I didn't. Oh wait, no, that's. Hey, I got sloth in 3 on October 6th. I did train, then I always do train, then chest, then sloth. Solid. Look at that. That's great. If you can see it, I don't know if you can see it. Nah, you can't see it. That's too bright. But I did train, then chest, then sloth on October 6th. I'm the best. Man, sloth is pretty good in 3. Because I always do train as my first word. Because I like the hype train. Let's see, photos. That looks like a video, but turn the sound off. Pictures of my dogs. Those are exciting. Okay, I got twine, sting, sloth. Yeah, I didn't take a picture of catch. Man, a hard one for me was scald. That took me 6 because I had scale, then scalp, then scaly, then scald. I almost didn't get that. I got brisk in 3. That was good. I got 1 and 2 like 2 days ago. I already forgot what it was. I got leery in 4. That's pretty good. I did train, then scour, then fairy, then leery. I got irony in 3. Train, drink, irony. Nice. Must be 4 to get poker. Anyway, I do not cheat at Wordle. I'm just smarter than you. Unless you got it in fewer words than me, then I'm dumber than you. Because that's how intelligence is measured, how many words it takes to get Wordle. I'm not sure why, but you got to measure intelligence somehow. Right? Isn't that the way to measure it? Hasn't Wordle been the way they measured intelligence for scores and scores of years? I believe you don't cheat at Wordle. No way you're smarter than me. What? Oh, yeah, whoever has the most Twitter followers. So I guess Kanye West is the smartest person in the world. Darn. Which country's president is dumber than me? Dumber? Let's see, would that be the right... I don't know, I think most presidents are probably smarter than I am. No, I brought a chair for Hikaru to sit on. You see right here. We're ready for him. Yeah. And Karen sits in this chair that you can't see. And I sit in this one. Hikaru sit in the back. In fact, I'm pretty big, so you might not even see him. But probably you will. The best player in my chair? Currently it's me, but probably not soon. When are you going to be on Lex podcast? I mean, I'm not interested in going on people's podcasts. I mean, podcast must have been invented for the most boring, worst people ever. I mean, I saw Lex Friedman post one thing on Twitter, and I wasn't impressed. So I would go on James Altucher's podcast, because me and James are like that, son. But I probably wouldn't go on if I didn't know him. And he knows I want to go on, and he's still not putting me on. That's how friendly we are. Yeah, I don't even understand what the point of a podcast is. Radio was invented like 100 years ago. If I want to listen to nonsense, I can turn the radio on. Exactly. If what I'm doing is podcasting, you know it's terrible. No, if Karen puts me on podcast, I'm going to go on the podcast. That's how it works. Perpetual podcast. Me and Ben Johnson are like that, son. We're both named Ben. See, that's the thing. Anybody can have a podcast, and you guys aren't very discerning. So when people say things on the podcast that are nonsense, you just believe them because you heard it on a podcast. So a lot of people get their news from podcasts, and it's not news, it's just nonsense, like Joe Rogan. I mean, Joe Rogan's podcast is just disinformation. It's like a comedy show. And you guys are like, Joe Rogan said this, so I believe it. So, I mean, podcasts aren't good for society. They're good for confusing society. Basically, the worst thing that ever happened ever was free speech. Terrible. I mean, I read one tweet from Lex Friedman and I wasn't impressed. He was comparing the far right and the far left, saying they were like that, son. I mean, if he's not smart enough to know the far right are Nazi, white supremacist, Republican pieces of garbage, and the far left want to help people, why am I supposed to listen to him? He's just another idiot with a podcast. But you guys are like, oh, this guy has a lot of viewers. Ooh. For some reason, you guys are always going, ooh. I don't know why you do that. Maybe because it's October and Halloween's coming. That's probably why. Ooh. Etc. Yay, condom sex gave 100 cent to dues. From now on, you're condom sex. God damn. Oh, I think they're here. Hooray, I can hear walking. I think Hikaru and Karen got home. Or here. Or somebody broke into the house. 50-50. But I think if that happened, the dogs would go crazy. In fact, the only reason the dogs aren't going crazy now is because they're asleep. Because they were asleep when I left. It's funny, when they're not asleep and Karen comes home, they jump on Karen. Well, Kazoo does. And when they're asleep, they don't move. When they're asleep, they don't really care what's going on in the house because they're asleep. I live in my home. Which dog is my favorite? I don't know. I guess Fabi. Oh, I thought she meant which dog in the U.S. Championship. No, I love all my dogs equally. Doric the cat said my cat vomited on the stairs today. And then the cat crept the kroven van de trap. That was even worse. Now I have to get the F fixed. Damn. Gotten totten. Current events in U.S. chess. Fight. So if a team of doctors in the mental health field did series of tests, questionnaires observing of Kanye West and Herschel Walker, who would they consider more crazy? Who's more mentally deficient? Who's more mentally ill? I need to know, Kanye or Herschel? The answer is fries. Yeah. So we got 2 fries and 3 Kanye. 3 fries. So Kanye's crazier and Herschel Walker's dumber. Huh, interesting. I got to vote against Herschel Walker in 2 or 3 weeks. Yay, head sick, 400 centidues. Is Kanye back to Kanye yet, or is he still yay? Because sometimes I see them write Kanye. Usually when they change their name, they change it back. And usually I miss when they change it back. He's still yay? Terrible. Cuomo interviewed him, and Ye corrected him after calling him Kanye. Nice. Ye is crazier than Kanye. It's possible. So here's what I think will happen. I think Herschel Walker isn't a fan of Kanye or Ye, so he'll arrest him because he has the right to arrest him. Man, Herschel Walker said that Raphael Warnock didn't know anything about the Bible. God damn. Raphael Warnock has several degrees in knowing about the Bible. I'm guessing Warnock knows 10,000 times more about the Bible than Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker probably knows about as much as about the Bible as Trump. They know the word Jesus, and that's about it. It's true. I don't think Raphael Warnock has a badge. That is true. You got him on that one. Yeah, Raphael Warnock was a terrible running back. Terrible. What percent of the Bible do you believe in? I believe the Bible is a book and it exists. Obviously, being religious is a mental illness, but a lot of the world has the same mental illness. But it's good. I can make fun of it, so it's good for comedians. So you got to give them that. I've never been to Slutty Vegan, but I've thought about it. I got to get those $22 vegan burgers. Those sound good. Yay, 1,000 centidues. It's not that you're mentally ill if you're religious, but that doesn't hurt. A lot of it is just brainwashing. People are easily brainwashed. That's why they like Trump and Joe Rogan and Ye and Herschel Walker. People are brainwashed easily. And so, if you're a kid and your parents are taking you to religious services, what are you supposed to do? Call them out on their BS? That's what their parents did to them. Truth hurts. Lobo Newman 2. Thanks for the sub. Okay, who's less funny? You got to pick one. Less funny. Less. David Spade or anybody else in the world. Pick who you want. So the question basically is David Spade the least funny person on earth? Man, that's a tough one. I can't think of anybody less funny. No, Vince Vaughn's good. Jim Belushi, there's a good answer. Yeah, Jim Belushi's a good answer. McConnell? No, McConnell's fine. Just looking at him makes me laugh. Rob Schneider, that's pretty good. Rob Schneider and David Spade are like that, son. When I think of one, I think of the other. So, yeah. And also, Rob Schneider went insane. He's super right-wing, white supremacist piece of garbage. How can you be a comedian and be right-wing? Right-wingers aren't funny. They're funny by just talking seriously. That's when they're funny. They're not funny by trying to be funny. Terrible. Yeah, but Pete Davidson's pretty tall. So, usually if you're a tall, famous person, you can date who you want. He's taller than the other people we're talking about, like Rob Schneider and David Spade. He's probably taller than them standing on top of each other. That's a great episode of Louis when he confronts Dane Cook and or vice versa. Pauly Shore. Pauly Shore was good in Futurama. Who's my favorite comedian? Me. I don't know. Don Rickles is good. Dave Chappelle's good. I mean, he used to be. Louis C.K., Rodney Dangerfield. What's his name? George Carlin was okay. Richard Pryor. Who else was good? Is that it? Henny Youngman. That might be it. There's got to be one more funny person. Jim Jeffries pretty funny. I mean, I spend a lot of my time napping, so I don't know all the comedians. Louis C.K. is like 80% canceled. He's not as canceled as he used to be. It's Nakamura and or Karen. I can hear them both. What's that?
It's just me.
It's just you.
Hikaru's here, though.
I know.
He's upstairs.
Did you make him any food? Did you give him some chili?
No, but I just made some coffee.
Ooh. Did you give him any?
It's brewing right now.
Oh, good, because don't give him any.
I hope
God
I
damn.
hope I turned it on.
Did you put water in?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't.
How's it going?
Was picking him up easy?
That thing.
No, I can't do this. No.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll go up and get him.
Yeah.
All right.
And I can tell them about my music bingo triumphs. So, how's everybody doing? Yeah, so two things real quick. At the music bingo, I tied for third place, and we had to have a playoff of sorts. So we had to listen to a song, just me and this other guy, and he shouted out an answer, but it was wrong, and I knew it was wrong. I just waited on him to finish, and then it was "Fight for Your Right," Beastie Boys. So, did you get Hikaru?
Hey, Karen. It's me, Hikaru. Hey, everybody. Frankly, the traffic was terrible. I thought you could drive better. You drive like a Karen. Terrible. How's everybody doing? Frankly, this house is ridiculous. Now, before I analyze the games from the U.S. Championship, I want to answer any questions in the chat. Could you move over? Come on. I'm Hikaru. Ridiculous.
I'm not even on there.
Well, yeah, it's for me. It's not your stream. Okay, here's the question in the chat. The chat says, I heard in the U.S. Women's Championship, Megan Lee was thinking of transitioning and becoming a man. Would she still be allowed to play in the U.S. Women's Championship? Terrible question.
That was a real question?
I don't know the answer to that question. And somebody else said he heard that too, and she's changing her name to Frank. Frank Lee? Ridiculous. Why would she do that? There's no way she would be allowed to play in the U.S. Women's if she transitioned to a man. Unless she transitioned back. Then the U.S. Chess Federation would say that's okay. For Frank Lee, ridiculous. And if Megan Lee changes her name to Frank and becomes Frank Lee, what about Alice Lee? Just terrible. Terrible. Okay, we're going to look at some juicers today from Hans Niemann. And the reason I showed up late for the stream is Ben made me some fresh squeezed orange juice. And when I asked him why he did it, he wanted to show me his juicer. And I was like, that's a pretty good juicer. So I might start doing that myself. Anyway, thanks for picking me up, even though you drive like a Karen. Terrible. Women drivers. We don't have that where I live. It doesn't exist. Now, I was going to look at the games from the U.S. Women's Championship, but frankly, the women play terribly. They're terrible. They play terribly. You agree, Karen?
I haven't seen any of the games.
Terrible. Oh, you're still on the stream a little bit. This is my stream. What are you doing? All right, move over so they can see you. This is just terrible.
And I may have to go up and talk to Archer at some point.
Who's Archer? Okay, so what we're going to do today is look at the games with Hans Niemann. Hans Niemann definitely didn't cheat. Definitely didn't cheat. Didn't cheat. Hans Niemann did not cheat. However, my content creator team told me that also he cheated. And I have to say he cheated. So he both cheated and didn't cheat. Ridiculous. At the same time. And what happened today, the reason it happened, he thought he was cheating and not cheating. Sam Sevian got mad. Okay, and you could see Sam Sevian lost it, and then he went from cheating to non-cheating in like 5 seconds. But he was very mad because he knows about the cheating and the non-cheating. Frankly, terrible. Hey, do you like my new beard? I grew this beard. I tried to make it look like Ben so people would think I was Ben. That way I'd be more popular.
Hey, what was this story? I never heard it.
I had the Hitler mustache. I was more popular with that too because, he's more popular than me.
Hey, what happened? I didn't get to see it.
What happened?
Yeah.
What happened? Here's what happened. Hans was thinking about his move, okay, or maybe he was waiting for the beads to do something. I don't know.
Right.
And then Sam picked up his king, Hans's king, on Hans's time and was looking at it and taking the top off. And Hans was like, what's going on here? This is ridiculous. And then Sevian's like, what? And then he pointed to go outside like they were going to fight. Terrible. And Hans in the interview said that he was asking to go outside and glue the king together. Terrible.
Wait, let me talk for a second.
But I heard your husband, Grandmaster Benjamin Feingold, that he sent you the video of it.
Of what?
Of what we're talking about.
I'm waiting my turn to talk. I'm not even listening.
Terrible. That's what happens when you let women's stream. You can't do it. Can't do it. You can't do it. I tried to do it. You can't do it.
Cam Clinton says, so Hikaru was never actually coming.
I'm right here.
No, he was not coming.
Grandmaster Gus, that is correct. Lots of Grandmasters here. We have Grandmaster Benjamin Feingold, Grandmaster Gus, and me, Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura.
Thank you, remain confident. I had so much fun at bingo because I got to give the guy the beat down. He had some dumb guess. And then I was like, no. And I said, fight for your right. And then I won.
I don't get references. I don't know what she's talking about. Women. Okay, let's look at the first game now. Grandmaster Benjamin Feingold, he set these games up for me. He set them up for me. These are set up for me. And I heard there's a lot of juicers in the position. So let's flip the board. Flip the board. Okay, we flipped the board. Okay, we're going to do this in round order. This is round one. Round one. One. O-N-E. One. This is the game Christopher Yu, Hans Niemann. And I'm pretty sure Christopher Yu is related to Jennifer Yu. I know they spell their names differently, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Okay, Christopher Yu is like 11 years old. I don't know. He's a very young, player. He's playing Hans in the first round. And Hans played his favorite defense with black, Now, Karen, I know you're not very good at chess. Do you know what Hans's favorite opening with black is? It's the anal bead defense. Yeah. He plays it almost every game. Played it against Magnus. Terrible. All right. Let's see how much Hans was cheating this game. I predict he cheated and he didn't cheat. That's my prediction. Okay. In this position, which we're starting with, which Benjamin set up for me, White played the move e6. Terrible. A terrible move, allowing black to take either way. And Christopher used just a small child. I think he thought it was a fork, but he didn't realize the pawn could be captured. A terrible move. Terrible. Okay, so maybe like the beads were distracting him. Maybe they were making noise. There was some vibration. Horrible. Okay, bishop takes e6. Hans played bishop takes e6. Bishop takes e6. Okay, so White gave away his juicer. Terrible. White needed this protected passed pawn, and now the game is just lost. It's just lost. It's lost.
Real icky.
The game is just lost. A terrible move, e6. Okay, g takes f5. Bishop takes. Now, there's pretty clear evidence that Hans is cheating. Pretty clear, because bishop takes e6 was the engine move, and bishop takes f5 was the engine move, and black is winning. Black shouldn't be winning in chess. Shouldn't be winning. Black shouldn't be winning. So black is winning against America's youngest grandmaster, playing engine moves, every single move I've looked at. Clearly, Hans is cheating this game. It's clear. It's clear he's cheating. Okay, let's continue. Knight takes f5. Again, so many legal moves. King f6, king f7, king f8, king g8, king anywhere. The king can go here and here. The king can move up, move the king. The king goes here, it goes here. The king goes here, it goes here. The king here. With all those legal moves, nobody knows which one's the best. He plays the engine move, queen takes f5.
Man, I was waiting to get in here for
It's proof he was cheating.
Hey, Ralph Wiggum.
Now, Benjamin's wife. What's your name?
Karen.
Karen. I knew she was a Karen. Benjamin told me that. I couldn't believe he said that about his own wife. Terrible. Can you believe every move we've looked at is the engine move? Where do you stand on this, Karen? Benjamin's wife, what do you think about this? Is Hans cheating?
I'm not getting involved in all this.
Terrible. Okay. Knight d4. Now, what percentage of grandmasters would see their queen is attacked? There's so much going on the board. If Hans moves his queen, it's proof he's cheating. Proof he's cheating. It's proof. Queen f6. It's so obvious he's cheating, Karen's laughing. Okay, any normal grandmaster would just play queen takes f4 and take the juicer. It's the juicer. You take a pawn. But engines have shown that knight e6 check is winning for white. And you think Hans saw that? Terrible. Queen f6. He played queen f6.
The Barack Obama know that the real Hikaru is not coming.
I'm right here. Frankly, terrible chat. Terrible. Terrible chat.
Do us as an ass, am I going to make you?
I can prove to you I'm the real Hikaru. Can I prove it to you? Okay. Now, when Benjamin streams, when he streams, typically, how many viewers does he have? Typically, optically speaking. How many viewers does Benjamin have when he's streaming?
You know, it varies.
It varies. And now look how many viewers there are. Look how many viewers. They know it's Ben's stream, but they know Hikaru's on. 4,000 viewers. Not good for me typically. Not good for me. Not enough viewers for me. Okay? Not enough viewers. But for Ben's stream, that's like 4 times as many viewers as usual because I'm on. Another proof that it's the real Hikaru Nakamura me. Does Ben have a shirt like this? This is the shirt I wear on stream. This is my shirt. Okay, let's look back at the game. Try not to interrupt so much. Terrible. Women. Someday I'm going to have a girlfriend. I know it. And the reason I haven't had one yet, I have the pick. I pick any woman I want, but I haven't found the right one yet. When I find the right one, she's going to be the juicer.
He had a very attractive fiance for a while.
Who's he?
You.
Thank you. Okay, now in this position, this is the biggest proof that Hans is cheating. Okay, now I don't know if he cheated against Magnus. My content team says he did. He did cheat against Magnus. Okay, I don't know if he cheated. The Grandmaster, the Super Grandmaster, the World Champion candidate in me says he didn't cheat, but my team says he did. In this position, even somebody as weak at chess as Karen, do you even play chess?
Barely.
In this position, Karen, what would you do after bishop takes the knight? What would you do with black here?
I would take it.
You would take it. Any grandmaster, any chess player in the world would just take back without thinking.
It's there.
It's a juicer. It's right there, right? And Hans didn't do that. Do you know why Hans didn't do that? Do you know why Hans didn't take the bishop? Do you know why? I'm going to tell you why Hans didn't take the bishop, because the engine doesn't take the bishop, and he's using an engine.
No.
Okay, now where's the engine? I don't know. Somewhere on his person. Where on his person? If you ask me, I don't know. If you ask my team, okay, this is a family stream. He played the move rook to e8, pinning the bishop. Pinning. He pins it this way, attacking it this way, potentially this way, maybe this way. Frankly, he gets a pass pawn over here. This pawn goes. The king runs over to the queen side. I would never see any of that, but the engine said so. Then the king goes here, and with so many arrows, I mean, not enough arrows. Needs more arrows. So in this position, f5. Now, most grandmasters would resign here with black if they weren't using an engine and cheating, because rook takes g6 is unstoppable. Frankly, you can't stop it. And white's attack is crushing. If I had white here, I would expect to win. Not against Hans, because Hans is using the engine. Rook takes e4, attacking the queen. The engine move. Every move an engine move. Queen f2. Now it looks like he's done for. He sacrifices his queen. Who would see a queen sacrifice? Someone using an engine. That's who would you see a queen sacrifice. Rook takes g6, queen takes, rook check, getting his queen back. Who would see such a long variation? An engine user. Now, 6 moves ago, I thought Hans wasn't cheating, but now it's clear he's using an engine. In fact, I tried to get Benjamin to agree with me. Benjamin said Hans wasn't cheating, and the reason Benjamin said that, Benjamin had a car outside. I saw when I came here. I saw it. Did you see Benjamin's car? Did you see that car? And what does that car have inside of it? What does the car have? It has an engine. They're just engine users everywhere. Terrible. Frankly, ridiculous. Okay, and this is what happened in the game. Rook check, a skewer. Now, for those of you who don't think Hans cheated, he played engine move every move this game. Every move. When this game ended, everybody knew Hans was cheating, so he had to lay low. So he didn't win another game for 9 rounds. Terrible. And the game concluded with another engine-like performance. In this position, Any grandmaster would play c2. Hans plays the first engine move. Rook takes b5, giving his rook away. So after queen sacrifices his rook, and then he makes a queen. Normally, Hans probably couldn't mate with a queen against a knight. But Christopher Yu knew he was using an engine. He knew it. He knew that Hans was using the engine because Hans said mate in 27. Because he was listening to the engine, and it was mate in 27 in this position. So Christopher just resigned. He complained to Chris Bird. Chris Bird went la, 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 la. Terrible. They should ban him. He's banned. Okay, that game upset me too much. I'm too upset to be on Ben's stream anymore. I mean, Benjamin. I was thinking of Benjamin Bach. I got so confused. So I'm going to go get Benjamin. Do you know where Benjamin is?
No, he'll be back.
No, not Benjamin Bach. Not Benjamin Bach. Benjamin Feingold.
Oh.
Benjamin Feingold.
Oh.
The worst Benjamin. We got Benjamin Bach. We got Joel Benjamin. Benjamin Gladura. And then you're married to the worst Benjamin. The worst. You're married to the worst Benjamin grandmaster in the world. He's barely a Benjamin grandmaster. Terrible.
Yeah, go.
Terrible. Now I have to go because I feel like my shirt's getting dirty. Terrible.
Go get
Thanks,
Ben.
everybody. I have to go give a simul now in Metro Atlanta. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching me on Benjamin's stream. I'm sure when I leave, everybody's just going to leave because you'll have to watch Benjamin and Karen. Terrible.
Thank God. See you.
Hey, Hikaru, thanks. Yeah, okay, I'll see you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, everybody. We're going to have breakfast with Hikaru tomorrow. You know why he wants to get breakfast, right? He wants that fresh squeezed orange juice. Yeah, he just loves the juicers.
That's funny.
Did you like Hikaru's analysis proving that Hans cheated?
Yeah.
What? Hikaru drank my Perrier? Terrible. Luckily, I have another one.
Man, I thought we were gonna have to put up with Hikaru for the whole stream.
Well, I couldn't put up with him either.
I was like, God, please. Deliver me.
Hikaru just stole my stream. He stole my Perrier. See, I had an extra Perrier because I knew he would do that. So what'd you think of Hikaru? Terrible? I missed Hikaru? No, I can watch it later on video. That's good.
I was so happy when I won at the bingo. And I just went, yes.
Well, I thought the other guy won, and then you won on tie breaks?
No, he yelled out the wrong name. The rule was if we had a playoff song to
Right.
see who got third place.
Yeah, tie breaks.
Tie breaks, yeah. And so it was fight for your right.
Thanks for the 10 subs, Impalu.
And he yelled out real quickly some wrong name, and as soon as he was done, I said, no, it's this. And then she said yes, and I went.
Did Hikaru thank everybody who was donating? Did he do that? Okay, I'm going to thank people who gave while Hikaru was here. I was told Hikaru didn't thank anybody. Typical. Impalu gifted 10 subs. Yertreo 100 bits. Condom Sex gave 2 bits. Condom Sex gave 3 bits. Man, those condoms must be cheap. Condom Sex gave 3 bits. Tim Cannon Poker subscribed. Enzian Hero gifted a sub. Condom Sex gave 1 bit, then 3 bits. It's Shape of Glue gifted a sub. Arc2323 resubscribed. Ralph Wiggum resubscribed. Condom Sex gave 3 bits. Hey, Chess Bra raided while Hikaru was here. Thanks, Chess Bra.
I didn't even notice. Hey, listen, somebody.
Thanks for the raid, Chess Bra. Sorry we missed it.
Sorry about that.
Hikaru's a dick. He doesn't mention when people like.
Yeah, that was a great raid too. Sorry we missed that, Chess Bra. I love Chess Bras. Hey, somebody needs to update me on what's going on with this game today with Sevian and.
I was telling you what was going on.
But I did. Okay. Well,
I mean, Hikaru was telling you.
Okay. Well, tell me again.
Okay, so here's what I sent you a video. There's a video on your phone.
I haven't had.
Okay,
chance.
so here's what happened. Hans is thinking about his move. While he's thinking about his move, Sevian picks up Hans's king and he's like playing with it. And then he picks the thing off. And then Hans said he was asking if you want to glue it, if we should go glue it. Then he said it was a misunderstanding. And nobody can understand why when he picked the king up and it was broken, why he like threw it back on the board like he was mad.
Why did he pick it up?
Well, that I don't know. He might have noticed the last move Hans made that the top was coming off. So he might have wanted to point that out.
Oh. Strange.
Nobody understands what actually happened because, like, nothing happened. It wasn't, like, important. But people who are watching are like, oh, my God, what happened? Are they going to fight?
There were rumors that... Well, did you not watch the interview?
I watched everything.
And what did he say? Just what you said?
Yeah, Hans said, like, he didn't know why he picked the king up, and he said the top was off, and it was my move, so I was confused. And then there was a misunderstanding. So he was sort of like deflecting.
Oh. Yeah, people were saying he ripped the head off and stuff.
Yeah, it probably just came off.
Yeah, it didn't look like he was being violent with it because I saw the video.
Anyway, it was confusing. Yeah, that didn't really happen. Remain confident. That's just what you wrote.
Well, at any rate.
And no one has seen Sam since. Basically, nothing happened, but they're making a big deal out of it. Okay, so that game proved that Hans cheats every move. Now we'll see games which prove he never cheats. Let's go to the next game. We are going to look at all of Hans's games, but unlike Hikaru's terrible commentary and analysis, it's going to be good.
Man.
Is Karen high or is she like that? You know, both.
For us, was asking me how the first lesson was.
Yeah.
I hadn't answered him yet. It was hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to study poker a little bit, and it's extremely hard.
That's what she said. Condom sex gave 3 more bits. All right. Okay, let's analyze the game. So this position from round 2, this is the game Hans versus Jeffrey Shang. And white has a big advantage, and black's obviously wants to play e2, although e2 isn't really even a threat here because I can take the rook with check and then play rook e1. And in this position, the best move for white is a collinear move. Now, Hans was afraid of e2 and made a series of bad moves, throwing all of his advantage away. Now, Karen, if the first move is a collinear move, which Hans didn't see in this position, what move should white play based on that collinear talk?
If the first move that for white is a collinear move?
That's the best move.
Probably rook f7.
Close. You couldn't be closer. Rook f7 is not a bad move.
Rook f6.
Rook f6. But rook f7 is not a bad move.
Yeah.
And rook takes f8. They're all good moves. Instead, Hans retreated, proving he never cheats, because that's a terrible move. Okay, then rook e8 attacking his pawn. And the problem is you can't really save your pawn now because your bishop is busy defending this. So if you play e6 to save your pawn, I have h5 and your bishop's overworked. You can't defend your pawn and stop e2. Obviously, I have to stop e2. So bishop g4 was a blunder on Hans's part, throwing all of his advantage away. Then rook d4 was a mistake. And somehow Hans went from close to winning to like fighting for a draw. Now black is actually better. And then they repeated, but Jeffrey didn't want to repeat. But, okay, you can't win because you can't do anything. And then the repetition happened. So in that game, Hans was very close to winning if he had traded rooks on f8 or played rook f6. Instead, he just blundered his e-pawn, and then he had to fight for a draw. So the first game proved that Hans cheats every move. This game proves he never cheats. It depends who's analyzing the game. We need people with engines proving every move is 100% or 0%. And don't forget it. The chess does speak for itself. Okay, next game. This is his game with Shankland. This was a very boring game where Shankland was better the whole game and Hans defended and traded and drew. Very super GM-like. Hans has the black pieces. They played a Nimzo Indian. One of the main lines. Hikaru actually plays this with black, this exact variation. D5, DC, B6, Bishop A6. I should have had Hikaru here for this, but he had to go. That's too bad because Karen wanted to hear what he had to say. So Hans basically had a worse position and traded everything. Hans has the black pieces. Every move is a trade. And White obviously has a better position here, better center, better pawn structure, Papa John's. And he traded all the rooks. And then he just was very stodgy here. He just played super passively. And, Shankland, not the most talented player in the world, or even in his chair, he didn't know how to break through or do anything. So nothing ever happened. And this was the critical part of the game. White played f3 and black played f6. I was ashamed for both players. And they traded everything, always trade everything. And then Hans moved his bishop around a lot. Nothing's happening, nothing's happening, nothing's happening. Hans just moves his bishop back and forth. And they repeated this is the third time. So that was an excellent game by Hans because he was worse the whole game with black. And he just traded, played very passive, defended everything, stopped all of White's winning chances. And he drew a very difficult game. Very difficult. That was like a non-engine game. Like worse the whole game and defending and trying to draw. So the next two games prove that Hans has never cheated, even online. That's how non-cheating they are. Okay, now if you want more evidence Hans didn't cheat, now he goes on a losing streak. And in fact, this game he was worse, and then Fabi threw it away twice. In this position, White should play rook g2 and then king g4 with good drawing chances. Instead, Hans blundered with f4, losing. Check. And in this position, Fabi blundered. Fabi went by the rule that I always use, always repeat. So he went like rook, and repeated. That's actually a blunder. G takes f4 is winning. And in this position, Hans needs to move his king to g1. And then when all these pawns get traded off, the king is close to the c pawn. This is the pawn that's going to win the game for black, not the pawns that get captured. Those pawns aren't going to win. So rook here is a blunder, and now king g1 should draw the game. And instead, Hans played king h3, and then Fabi got on the right track. And because the king is on h2, instead of over here, now black is winning. We keep White's king away, and we get the Lucena position, etc.
Hey, Joey's streaming.
I know. But I'm streaming. On Joey's stream, they're like, Ben's streaming. Yeah, exactly. And this is the Lucena position, so he resigned. Although, yeah, he can't play rook check. He's going to play rook here check and so forth. All right, so Fabi won against Hans. Okay, now this game, once again, Hans had a worse position and defended excellently. In this position, White's clearly better. He's got pressure against this bishop. He's got 3-2 on the king side. The bishops aren't very good. They're trapped. And Hans, knowing that I'm one of the world's finest analysts, always sacked the exchange. So Hans played bishop takes g5. If you play bishop takes g5, rook takes g5, that's check. So you have to take the rook. And now, after takes, rook h1. If you play rook takes rook, I play the Zwischenzug, bishop takes g5 check, then take the rook. So he sacks the exchange. So Hans sacks the exchange and has the 2 bishops. What else? And the engine says all zeros. And the rest of the game was boring. Good defense by Hans. And eventually they found a repetition because they're good players. That's a good repetition. And the game was agreed drawn. White can't do anything. Total blockade. And black does have 2 pawns for the exchange. So, if white goes crazy, black's going to win. But Dominguez doesn't go crazy. Or does he? No. Wait, how did Dominguez do today? He won against Christopher Yu in 134 moves yesterday. But how did he do today? How did Dominguez do? Does anybody know? Oh, yeah, he drew. Everybody drew at the top, so it's the same.
That's good, I guess.
Okay, here's another game Hans lost because you got to lose in 3s. Hans has the white pieces, and he went crazy like Fox News in this position. Okay, he played the Joe Rogan attack. It doesn't make any sense. He played f4, f5, f6. And instead, the engine says after queen g4, pinning this, that the position is slightly better for black because black's a pawn up. White has good compensation. Instead, Hans went all in, f4. And you know why going all in didn't work when Hans went all in with f4, f5, f6? Because Robbie called him. Yeah. And when I say Robbie, I mean Ray Robson. Oh, snap. I got both Robbies in. Okay.
That's funny.
So rook a2. Uh-oh, who's getting mated? The answer is Fries. f5. Here comes Hans. Knight c3, confusing everybody but Karen.
Hey, in Peru.
See how the knight forks these two?
Yes.
And if you play knight takes knight, then queen takes g2 mate.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Hans is going all in. f6. Now, I got to explain stuff to you guys, and I've explained it before, and you still don't understand. And you never will. And you should be ashamed. And you should have been ashamed before, because you know who you are, but now you should be more ashamed. And that is when these complications happen and the players are very good, like top 10 in the world, top 20 in the world, etc., mainly etc., they calculate a million moves ahead. Occasionally they miss a move. But Ray Robson doesn't do that. Every year, Ray Robson wins whatever that thing is called. Where you do puzzle rush, puzzle battle, whatever, puzzle extravaganza. Okay, Ray Robson's good at calculating. He didn't get 2,700 FIDE because he sat around all day saying, when's Nakamura showing up? Is Nakamura here? Ray Robson's not on the stream doing that, studying chess. Okay, in this position, if this was like a puzzle rush, this would be like 3,300.
Yeah.
Yeah, because black has one move that wins here, otherwise he's lost. And you're not finding that move. Nobody's finding the move. Nobody. Ray Robson found it. Ray Robson saw it before he played. He saw it before. He's not going to let the guy play f6 and go, oh no, I'm losing. Okay, he played bishop takes f6, the only winning move. And wins. Now let's figure out why. After bishop f6, ef6, we play knight e4. So let's play knight e4 now. What's the difference? Now we can take on e7, which obviously you can't do if bishop takes f6 is played. Rook e8, queen f3, and now there's nothing you can do. If you move, your knight's attacked, right? If you move your knight, let's go here. I'll just move it somewhere. Okay, then we trade queens, and now the E pawn is too strong. And rook d8 check, etc., mainly etc.
Yeah.
Plus 1 billion. So you can't allow f takes e7, so he plays bishop takes f6, the only move that wins. Knight takes f6 check. If he plays pawn takes, knight takes, and then if f takes g, we just move our rook. And we're safe. There's no pawn on e7 that's going to queen. This pawn's not going to queen. This knight's kept out of the game. And black has a winning position here. Black's threatening knight f6, attacking the queen, and threatening queen g2 mate. So Hans played knight f6 check. Now, Karen, would you play king h8 or take the knight?
I would take the knight.
Right, king h8 hangs mate in 1.
Yeah.
So you have to take the knight. Oh, give me the knight. Now we're threatening mate. So Hans stopped that. Knight f3. Now, black only has one winning move, but it's the obvious move. Knight takes rook. Always take a rook. And the reason we're winning this and you're not getting mated, you're going to see actually. Okay, you're going to see how you get mated? Okay, how do you stop it? There's one way to stop it, otherwise you're lost.
Let's see. You just go king h8.
Correct.
Yeah, I thought that was another reason to take the knight too.
Yeah, then you have rook g8, so you're not getting mated. Yeah. Hooray.
Yay.
Now this is funny. This looks very dangerous. Queen takes f7. Looks dangerous. But you have to call an ambulance, but not for Ray. There's no, you can't do anything. Nothing you can do. And here black is going to checkmate white first.
Yeah.
The engine gives the queen away. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Okay, so he played king h2, defending his pawn. Queen e4. If you play queen takes pawn, I can take the knight. Because the g pawn's pinned. Now he's threatening queen g2 mate. He takes the knight. Now he's threatening mate here. Rook g2. And in this position, he resigned. After takes, what's the easy win for black?
Let's see.
You might not know for 5 days. Then it'll be easy like Sunday morning.
Let's see. Easy.
Sorry if you just showed up. You missed Hikaru. He was only here for analyzing one game. We were going to have him analyze more than one game, but Karen couldn't take it. You know, she's a Karen. She couldn't do it. You should move over.
All right.
Hikaru was hogging the limelight. Terrible.
Hey, I didn't care. All right, let me see. Darn. I don't know what it is. Right there. There's a block. Oh, you could go like a queen h5. And you could just take that rook.
Yeah, so he resigned. Also winning is queen f5. Queen e4, but this is easy. Okay, next game, Hans got totally crushed, and Schwiertz played like an engine. Like an engine.
I just remembered I made coffee when I came in. It's probably old now.
Yeah, I don't care how old it is.
Oh, that was probably 9:15.
Yeah, it's like 40 minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna go get some.
All right.
Do you want some?
Yeah, I always want coffee. Want me to wait?
No, you can go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay, Hans is black against Darius Schwiertz. They played a Catalan. Yeah, this is a perfect game from white. So it looks pretty equalish, boring. White's very slightly better. Queen c7 might be inaccurate, but it's probably okay. It's playing sort of slow. Yeah, bishop takes d5 is just a mistake. That's the first mistake Hans made this game. He should just take with the knight. That way, if you play e4, there's knight takes bishop. So he should take with the knight, and he took with the bishop, losing a tempo. Now e4 is good. Bishop b2, pinning the c pawn. So Hans played queen b8. e5. Knight c4, and black is just worse here. Black has very little space, and white has very active pieces. Queen a8's a blunder, which loses the game. He should play h6 here, because you're going to play h6 anyway, so you don't have to worry about anything happening over here. The queen's better on b8 than it is on a8, because the queen defends the d6 square, and it indirectly defends the b pawn, and it puts pressure here once these get traded. So queen a8 is a really, really terrible move. dc, knight takes, knight d6, and this is just crushing for white. White's going to get the two bishops, and he's going to have the attack. And you don't really want to do anything here with black. You don't want to take, and you don't want to not take. If you take, you're again giving up the knight g5 idea. You're giving white a passed pawn, and you're opening up this bishop. If you don't take, and I take this, then my bishop on g2 is a monster. So you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. He did take, which the engine doesn't like. Knight g5 is a good intermezzo, threatening queen h7 mate. And this is just winning for white. You can see this bishop here. Attacks the pawn. Played rook c4. Knight takes h7 is also immediately winning. Put it in h. Rook h4 is the quickest win. You can't take the knight then because of rook h8 mate. But he played here, which also wins. You can't take with the pawn because queen g6 is checkmate. So you have to take with the knight. And then you lose your knight on d5. White's up a pawn and has this amazing bishop here on the diagonal. And after d7, he just resigned. Because he's going to get mated on the diagonal, and white's going to queen. Both are going to happen. The engine says +6 for white. So just a terrible, crushing game where Hans just got run over. A great strategical masterpiece. This is a game where if you have a lesson and you're like a master or above and you're teaching somebody like 1400 to 1800, strategical chess, this is a really good game for that. You'd have to discuss the game a lot and discuss the ideas that white was playing and why Hans's moves weren't good. And, you know, Hans typically likes to have very active pieces and calculate lots of variations. He doesn't want to get slowly suffocated like he did against Sam. Okay, his game with Aronian was totally bonkers. He's black against Aronian, and they played the two knights. And as you all know, Aronian's having a very bad tournament, and he won his first game today against the hapless El Shamor Diabadi, who's having a worse tournament. So they played the two knights, Vatals. This is the main line. They play bishop d3 nowadays. This is all theory. It's all prep. So black's down a pawn. So that's bad. Black has a knight on a5. That's bad. But black has the two bishops and white has this absurd pawn structure. That's good. So that's about equal. Levon decides to attack the c5 pawn. He attacks the d3 pawn. He attacks the e5 pawn. He defends the e5 pawn. He defends the d3 pawn. And he defends his c-pawn. So all these pawns were attacked, and nobody captured them. Eventually, they were all defended. He attacked the c-pawn again. It's defended enough, though. Always play bishop f8. Attacks it again. Knight b7. And here, white's sort of run out of gas. White's attacked this 3 times. Black defended it 3 times. And, that's it. So now black's going to slowly improve his position. h6, defending g5, f5, queen d5. And, go forward and uses 2 bishops in the open position. Levon played knight e1. Engine doesn't like that. Bishop b5. Knight d6. And now the position is better for black. White has an extra pawn, but it's doubled and stupid. Knight on e1 is stupid. Rook here is weird. Black has the 2 bishops. It's a better position for Hans now. Rook c3 looks pretty awkward. Never play f6, proving he won't win. And the engine really likes black's position here. Always repeat. Then Hans did not repeat, play king g7. And you can see black just has a much better position. Hard to win, though, because it's hard to break through. Yeah, and g5, I think, is a little iffy. That's the kind of move you make when you're really young. The engine says it's the best or second best move, but I wouldn't even consider it. I wouldn't even think of it. It seems more of a defensive move, like you're worried that white's going to play f4 and open up this diagonal and attack the e5 pawn. Put it in h. This is still good for black. And king f7 is a bad move. He should play bishop to d7. This allows a tactical trick. King f7. He wants to get off of the rook here. And Aronian saw it with d4. That's one of the last moves you're looking at if you're black, because black is defending d4 4 times. But this rook isn't defended, so the c-pawn is pinned. And white has a lot of pieces on d4. So if he had played bishop to d7, the previous move, attacking the rook, it also defends his rook on c8, so you can never play d4. And this is what saves Aronian. Now the game is equal again, because you just trade everything. Boring. And you can't take the bishop because of rook takes. So white got rid of his doubled pawn. Now white has an extra pawn, but with the 2 bishops black has no trouble. And this is just a draw. Boring. Okay, and then they found a way to repeat, I guess. Oh, they just did this. Yeah, okay. So that was good defense by Aronian. Hans was better with black, and Hans overlooked the strength of d4, letting white draw very easily. Probably white had the better of the draw at that point, after d4. Before d4, Levon was struggling. Levon not having a good tournament. But in this particular tournament, not only does Hans have a good score right now, +1, he's drawn against Levon. He drew Dominguez. I mean, those guys he drew Wesley. I mean, those are some super GMs there. Okay, speaking of Wesley, this is the most boring game of the tournament. And that's saying something, because this is the U.S. Championship where some of the games are boring. But this was the most boring. This is Hans versus Wesley. Not an interesting game. They played a ton of theory, and it was very boring position. Yeah, and when Hans analyzed the game with Yasser and Christian and Anastasia and said knight h4 is a ridiculous move, he missed d5. See, the knight and the rook are here attacking the e5 pawn, so you can't play d5 because I play ed and your pawn's hanging. Okay, And Hans is only 19, so he didn't know about ED. Okay, Yasser was singing praises. Yasser's like, I'm in my 60s. ED's my whole life. ED. Okay, I told that joke to Naka. Naka said I don't get it. Okay, knight h4. Now you can play d5 because you're not worried about ED. Because the knight, and Jesus said it was good, so forth. Don't forget Jesus. What is ED is correct. Yeah. Yeah, so now d5. Now Hans is like, I'm an idiot. So he went back. Because he's trying to put pressure on the e5 pawn. But now this pawn, strategically this is bad for white because we can't go to d5 and black can go to the d4 square eventually. So Hans was worse position here, but Wesley's not very ambitious. So bishop e4 doesn't make a lot of sense, except by this point in the tournament, Wesley's given up. Wesley wants to win the tournament. At this point in the tournament, Wesley was -1 or -2. So he literally was just trying to end the games. Draw, 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 leave me alone. So in this position, this move doesn't make any sense. Black has the 2 bishops. This bishop is obviously better than this bishop. So what he should do is play bishop d4 and c5 and get the grip. And instead he played here, and they just repeated. If Wesley needed to win, he would have played bishop d4, c5, and had a better position and tried to outplay Hans. But Wesley just wants the game to end. What's funny is Wesley's won his last 2 games. Some of Wesley's opponents aren't the best. Okay, now if you saw the interview after the game, this was one of Hans's funniest interviews. Hans is like, I'm winning, I'm completely winning. I have black and I know I'm winning and I'm the greatest and look at me. And, I play great and everything's good. And the engine just says it's equal. He's like, look at my rooks, look at my bishop, look at my king side, and white can't do anything. And the engine just says it's equal. But Hans is like, I'm winning, I'm the greatest. And, you got to have that overconfidence if you want to be a good chess player. Okay, that's what I have, except for one thing. When I play you guys, I get overconfident because you guys are suspicious. But when I play real chess players, I'm not so confident because they play better than I do. Okay, so Elshan played b4, which is excellent. Rook e5, bc threatening the bishop on d4. So he takes. And he sacrifices the exchange. And now the engine likes white. Totally underestimated plan because the rooks just aren't doing anything. And here comes my knight to e6. This pawn's weak. This pawn's weak. King is exposed. My knight's coming to e6. This position's actually preferable for white. Okay, so Hans is like, damn, this position's not so good. So he played h5. And he's going to attack on the king's side. And in this position, Elshan started to go astray. Elshan's white here against Hans. Queen b6 is a good move, threatening the b7 pawn. But he played knight f4, trying to block the rooks. Although this makes h4 more palatable because you're hitting the g3 pawn. Queen a7 is a bad move. Shouldn't play queen a7. This position, the engine wants him to play knight d3 to make h4 less strong because the queen's attacking g4. And the knight is defending f2. And after knight d3, the engine prefers white because now white's rook can start moving. The rook is just being passive and defensive here. After knight d3, the knight's defending this, so our rook can go to e1 or b1 and start doing stuff. Thanks, Dr. Krieger. So queen a7 was a mistake, time trouble, h4, and now he played the losing move. This position should still probably be a draw. White needs to play rook e1. That way his king can escape if necessary, and his rook is really active. Instead, he blundered a one-move blunder. Well, that doesn't lose immediately. And what's funny is I was watching this game live, and after takes, Elshan instantly took on g3, which is a blunder. But you should never move instantly when there's a 30-second increment. Never. Because there's lots going on here. And what he needs to do is play queen c8 check. Okay, and that makes it tough for black. Then black has to play more accurately. And by playing the move fg, he obviously overlooked his opponent's next move. What's funny is, if this pawn wasn't here, if it was just off the board, okay, we'll put it here so you can't see it, haha. Then black plays e5, attacking the knight, and the knight's pinned. Pretty simple. But you always think, like, I can take on passant, so I don't care about e5. Well, white didn't play queen c8 check. White left his queen on b7. So now e5 has the dual threat of pawn takes knight, thank you, and queen takes queen. You didn't give Hikaru any, did you? Okay. And the thing is, we would like to play queen c8 check and then take on passant, but you're not allowed to do that. And you're not allowed to lose your knight, because losing your knight is bad. If you're taking notes, I'll let you write that down. Losing your knight is bad.
What'd I miss?
I analyzed like 3 games so far. Look at this tricky tactic, Karen.
I'm tired. How many games are you going to do?
All of them. We only got 2 left after this.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm streaming until 11. So, Okay, now look at this position. We have to play queen c8 check. By playing this move, black has the brilliant winning move, e5, which Elshan missed. Notice the discovered attack on the queen.
Yeah.
You can't take on passant because your queen's hanging. You can't move your knight because rook takes rook is happening. So you're losing. So he just didn't see e5. And then he lost on time here. He sat there, but he's losing. Doesn't matter. That's a good move to end the game with. So Hans is back on the scoreboard. After winning round 1, he had 8 games in a row where things didn't go well. Then he won in round 10.
What is Elshan's overall score?
0. I think he has 2 out of 12. He might have 2.5. I said he might. He might have 2.5. Might have 2. Thanks, Chaotic Gabibo. The hype train is close. Hans was in a chess camp I taught about 8 years ago. I wouldn't say I coached him. I was Talia's coach for years, and she just won 5 games in a row. God damn. As soon as she dumped me as her coach, then she started winning. That's what happened, except she didn't dump me as her coach. But, no. 1 cent to do.
Hans is the best in the world?
I don't know about that. He's +1. He's tied for 4th through 8th. I don't know about that. He did the Hikaru today. He's like, I'm having a terrible, disappointing tournament. He won 3 games in a row. Nobody ever wins 3 games in a row in the U.S. Championship. Not never, not ever. Although I think Ray did. But he said, the terrible, disappointing. Once I lost all those games and I couldn't win the tournament, I relaxed because that's the only goal is, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the end of that game. Okay, the next round, which was yesterday, round 11, he played Alexander Lenderman. Now, Karen doesn't know this because for some reason, Karen, I don't know what she's doing all day. She doesn't spend all of her time analyzing the U.S. Championship. I don't know what she's doing. But anyway, if she did hear every second of every broadcast, she would know in the 2 months leading up to this tournament, Lenderman was 2,600 FIDE, and he lost 60 rating points, 25-40.
Wow.
In this tournament, he's losing points also.
Wait, when did he lose the 60?
2 months.
Oh, in the
last month and the month
I got
before.
confused. Okay.
Yeah, frankly, terrible.
Well,
So he was 2,600 until he wasn't. If he loses another 150 rating points, he'll be close to me. Okay, so this is all theory and prep, and here Lenderman blundered and he played quickly. And by blundered, his move is slightly not the best. He needs to play knight f8, and he ended up trading on d4 first, and this is bad because white always plays f3. You can see how Lenderman didn't see f3. And the idea is if you take on f3, well, if you don't take on f3, I'm just going to take this pawn and win a pawn. I'll be a pawn up. So you have to take, and then you can never play knight e6 because rook e1 wins immediately. If we go back and we play correctly, you can't open the e file. So you could play knight here, Papa John's. The engine says it's equal. White's slightly better. That's Hans's prep. And instead, played this, and now black's knight is terrible. He can't play knight e6. So now he can't do anything.
and the king's on that open.
Right.
Wow.
Okay, so Lenderman played there because he heard you say the king was on the file. Takes here. And now Hans missed a brilliant move in this position. When I say it's brilliant, I think it's brilliant. You will not think it's brilliant. You'll be like, that's not brilliant. You don't know what brilliant means, etc. Okay, in this position, it's clear to even the most dim-witted individual with an advanced degree in hyperbolic topology that black is threatening knight takes g5, right? See how the h-pawn's pinned?
Let's see.
See there, see tricks?
If you take
Then rook takes rook.
right, but then they have a rook there.
What? No, if knight takes and if pawn takes, then rook takes rook.
Oh, that rook.
Yeah.
I got confused.
Okay, so Hans played rook here and said, haha, you can't go there. I wonder if he actually said that. What he should have done is played this rook here, defending his rook, stopping knight takes. And now if you play knight here to go to the only good square, bishop f7 is annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way to defend it is to go back here. And the engine says white is more than +1. Excellent position for white. Instead, Hans played rook e1, and now the knight is going to get to d5, where it belongs. And now black has good drawing chances. Okay, he played rook h3, rook to e8, and this should be a draw now. And in this position, king takes e8 doesn't make any sense. You have to play rook takes e8 so you can activate your rook and activate your knight and so forth. King takes is a blunder. It's too passive. And they asked Lenderman after the game, why did you take with the king? And he said he was preparing to castle, but he forgot the bishop was here.
He said what now?
He was preparing to castle, but he forgot the bishop was here.
Oh, no. What?
And that's like 2 jokes.
I'm tired. I did catch it. Then I'm ready to go up and lay down.
We need a command about Karen being tired.
I'm a morning person. That's how I'm always going to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay. A4, he's advancing on the king's side. B5, or queen's side, whatever side that's called. King b4. Notice if you play knight takes d4, remember how I said if? Mm-hmm. Rook d3, rook takes h4 defending the knight. And now what? What's the winning move for white?
Let's see.
There's 2 answers. The right one and the other answer is I'm tired. Also possible.
Winning move for white.
Hi, viewers. I'm Ben. This is Karen. If you just showed up in the last hour, you missed Hikaru. He was here for about 20 minutes. The worst 20 minutes of Karen's life.
Yeah, I don't know.
In my opinion, this is actually my opinion. I'm not kidding. When Hikaru sees the video, he won't be mad. He'll think it's funny. Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think. I'm an excellent driver. King c3.
Oh,
Always retreat. That's hard to see because you're retreating.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Seems-
So after king
seems
b4,
obvious
he
now.
didn't give his knight away. Played knight f4, attacking the rook. King c7, a5. Look how he's advancing on the queen side. Rawr. And you know what Capablanca would say? He would say, "Where my bitch is at." No, he would say, "Advance your majority in the end game, 4-3." He would also say, "Where my bitch is at." He would say that. True story. Takes. Okay, now this is a key part of the game, so don't blink. Okay. So here Hans sacrifices a pawn. He plays bishop a4. Knight e6 forks 2 pawns. What else? d5. Knight takes g5. So black's a pawn up. But okay, white's, kicking ass over here. Now, the reason Lenderman isn't one of the top 10, 20 players in the world is he can't resist taking this pawn, which is dangerous. And then here there's one move and he couldn't find it. There's 3 legal moves. He couldn't find the right move. He played a blunder here. And it seems sort of obvious to play king d8 because you're blocking the passed pawn and you don't want to go on a white square because the bishop's on a white square. But actually you want to play king c8. The reason is, in 2 of the winning ideas for white are queening this pawn and playing c6, king c5, rook b2, rook b8. And with the king on d8, that works out just lubberly. With the king on c8, if we play the same way that was played in the game, now you're not threatening to do this because my king's on c8. And I can go here, which is illegal if my king is on d8. And are you going to be shocked when you see this?
All right.
Okay. This looks really good for white. It's like, wow, look at white. Okay. Then black plays this move. And he's threatening rook takes d6 checkmate. Although, of course, I wouldn't play that move order because that hung my knight. I would play knight e4 check, and then I would play here. And you can't play rook d2 and defend your pawn because my knight's defending that. So it looks like white's crushing black, and black's threatening mate. And black's up a pawn, and black is better now. So after king c8, the game should be a draw with correct play. King d8 loses, and Hans uses one of my excellent endgame techniques. Move your king up in the endgame. So after the move c6, black has to take, obviously. Most people would just take without thinking. But king c5 is better. Because you might want to take with the king. We're not sure yet. What we are sure of is we want to play rook here, threatening the knight, and threatening rook here, winning the rook. Okay, so he played f4 to get counterplay. Rook b2, threatening the knight, threatening rook b8 check. Knight e6 check, threatening rook b8 checkmate. Now here, if 2 players were playing who were top 10, top 20 in the world, they would resign. Because you got to resign here. But he played here, not resigning. And then Hans did it again. Rook takes b5 loses. This is actually funny why it loses. Check. And now it looks like we both queen, and white queens would check, but black queens would check. Oh, snap. So instead of rook takes b5 losing, Hans once again activated his king. King c6. Now he wants to play rook takes and mate, and he wants to play here. And what would Kaidanov say about this position? Why is white winning? What's the reason?
I don't know.
If you don't know, that's okay. Why is white winning in general terms, not with calculation?
I was trying to
What's
think
good
what
about what's good about white's position that's not good about black's position?
Well, the active king.
White's king is fabulous. Black's king is less than fabulous. And we saw that today in Hans's game. King e8 running away. He's a little runaway, or she is. And then he resigned because I'm getting 2 queens, 1 for each of you. If king e7, rook e2 check, Papa John's. Otherwise, I queen, take your rook, then queen that. Very good. Don't forget, hype train. Go Nakamura.
Hey, Punk One Gone.
etc.
I'm fading out.
I'm not saying that I'm a better streamer than Joey, but on Joey's Twitch, he's got 320. Terrible. I think he has several thousand on YouTube,
Yeah.
but not good on Twitch.
He says he's not going to stream poker anymore after some meetup game thing he's doing. But
Naka was here, but he left. He was annoying Karen too much. Okay, last game.
all right.
This game was played today. This is the fighting game where Sevian and Hans went to fisticuffs.
I'm tired.
No.
I'm trying.
Okay, so in this position, this was played about 3 hours ago. Sevian played rook e2 check because, his bishop's pinned, so, Black is up the exchange for 2 pawns, but these 2 pawns are doubled and isolated. This is isolated. And Hans went for a king march. King d5, king c4, king b3. And then Sevian's like, I'm going to take your h-pawn. And Hans said, you can't talk during the game. And then Sevian threw his king at him. So I don't know. Some of that happened. I don't know how much of it happened. Okay, he doubled up on the bubble up. Okay, now in this position, Hans played check, which is okay. And then he played b4, which is good. And after king h4, attacking his rook, Hans went astray. Hans should just start taking pawns. If Hans was a worse player, he would just be like, hey, take pawns. No calculation. He would take this pawn, then he would take this pawn, then he would take this pawn, and the engine says like +4 for black, or -4 if you're a computer geek. But Hans was calculating. He's like, rook takes, rook here, this pawn's strong. He was worried. So he didn't do that. He played rook g6 with a crazy idea, which doesn't win. All right, now you're sitting down, right? Mm-hmm. If you were tired, this is going to wake you up. Ready to be woken up? Mm-hmm. Okay. Didn't expect that one.
Wait, go back. Okay.
That was Hans's big plan. And the engine says, terrible, get those beads fixed. Okay, so it's a draw now, but white has to play the greatest move ever to draw, which Sevian did not do. Okay, this is a draw, this is a draw, this is a draw, this is a draw, this is a draw. And now white has one move that draws, but nobody would ever find it, including Sevian. Nobody would find it.
Go ahead.
The engine couldn't find it. That's how tough it was. Okay, the only move that draws is rook h5. And the reason is you'd like to play rook f5, and also your rook can get behind this pawn. So you got the 2-for-1 going.
Okay.
Okay, rook h5 is a draw. That's a very, very strange move. But since this rook is going here, I have to do this. Okay. Since this rook is going here, that would be nice to do this. And if you play rook h5 and they go here anyway, now you can move it on up because the rook was trapping your king, and now your king is fine. Okay, so he didn't play rook h5 drawing. He played h3 losing. King a2, here comes the queen, right? Okay. Then he played rook here so his rook can get behind the pawn. b2, his rook got behind the pawn. And then rook here. Excellent. If you play the obvious rook f2, then king g5. And everybody's happy. You're going to queen, I'll take it, and then I'm going to win your rook for my pawn, and it's a draw. But he played the brilliant rook g6, recommended by anal beads all over the world. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you're like, why do you play rook g6? Well, he's attacking the pawn, and there's no king g5. He has to play f7, rook f6. And now I'm going to take the pawn. And then if you take my rook, I queen. Oh, yeah. So now black's winning. So the game concluded in that fashion. And then he played on a queen down, but he moved his king back to where, it belongs. That was good. Hans got his king to a good square. And then Hans won the a6 pawn way over there.
I was watching a little bit of it. Archer and I were in the car.
Yeah, in this position, you can't play h5 because queen e7 check wins the rook. Always repeat. And then he resigned here. His pawn hasn't moved at all, and he lost his a pawn. And plus 50.
So nothing happened. It was just he was just pointing out a.
As soon as the game ended, they talked very nicely, and they were pointing at stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, what happened at the time, nobody knows. But on the internet, they just think the worst. They're like, Sevian was mad. He threw Hans's king at him. He asked him to go outside and fight. When there's no sound, so you can't. They're just guessing that's what happened because they want that to happen.
That's funny.
Yeah. I don't know what actually happened because Hans was pretty cryptic. But it wasn't like something where people... If two people aren't going to fight, it's Hans and Sevian. They're not fighting anybody. Nobody's fighting. And obviously, if there was more to it than I'm saying, that happens in chess. People get, like Karen, for example, she'll cuss you out during a chess game. She'll cuss the parent out.
What are you talking about? I have never cussed a parent.
Oh, yeah,
out.
you did when the parent got involved when you were playing that kid before I met you.
Oh, when I was playing. I thought you meant like at the chess
No,
club.
when you're playing.
I didn't cuss at her, but I raised my voice, and I told her to stay out of it. She said I was bullying her son in a game.
Then you bullied the mom.
And no. She got kicked out of the room.
No, but when you're playing in a tournament, not you guys. You guys are like, do. But if you're a normal, strong player, and you're playing in a tournament, it's very tense. So occasionally, Draymond Green might take a swing at Jordan Poole, and then when the day's done, they both go to the multimillionaires club and have cigars and, some kind of fancy alcohol. Okay? But when he does punch him, then you guys are like, oh, terrible. Okay? So you guys want there to be some violence and stuff, but just competitive sport. Okay? It's real competition, which you're not used to because you're used to watching the Denver Broncos and they don't really compete. They just stand on the field and go, duh, and then the other team wins. Right? They're like, I have a good idea. Let's pay this guy hundreds of millions of dollars, and he's worse quarterback than Feingold. That was their idea. Frankly, terrible idea. Right, sweetie?
Mm-hmm. I was trying to see if they said who the poker Karen is yet. Hey, I got to lay down.
You don't have to.
I have to. So you just got 30 more minutes or 26 minutes?
I can stop whenever I want.
Or, 2.
That's right. No, I'll talk to the chat for a little while.
Okay.
You guys can ask me stuff.
I don't think there's anything new in any of the cheating scandals. And
Karen's about 1,800 at poker. I'm considerably less.
I will tell you that I started taking group lessons from, I don't know how to say it, Faraz Shaka. I think it's Faraz.
Dormez-vous.
I know.
Dormez-vous.
Today, I had the first group lesson. It is so hard. It is so hard. Mike Saylor, I agree that maybe we all need to move on from it because there's no evidence, but that lie detector test was a joke. She flew to Las Vegas. She lives in LA and has a lawyer husband, so they know plenty of people. She flew to Vegas to use one particular polygraph administrator. It's weird. But, there's some things that point to innocence and things that point to guilt, but I don't think the lie detector, hurts her or helps her in my view. I would never take one. Because they're not accurate. And
if I took a lie detector, they'd ask me a question, I would say, fuck you. And they would say, yeah, he's telling the truth. So, I'd pass.
So the thing is, there's a lot of weird stuff about it. Well, I agree, Mike Saylor, but I don't understand why she went and had her own. She did it herself, because Nick Vertucci said that they were going to administer one, and the next thing I know, and then also Eric Pearson. I used to say person, but it's Pearson. Anyway.
I thought it was person, man, camera. By the way, we have a ton of viewers this stream, so I guess every stream from now on, I'm going to put Hikaru's name in the title, Hans's, Magnus, and anybody else that'll give me.
Robbie.
Like, for no reason, we have 3,000 viewers the whole time. Like, even before I was on Chess TV. Terrible.
I mean, the thing
Thaddeus
is,
quoting Seinfeld.
at some point with the poker cheating, if no evidence emerges, I think they're still investigating, but they'll have to just move on if it can't be proven. And I don't see how it can be proven unless they have camera evidence or somebody comes forward. So
a lot's 2 words. It did help. Usually people leave immediately when I get rated. I get rated, I have an extra 1,000 viewers, and they're all gone in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, but you have a crossover with Chess Bra.
You're saying it's a crossover bra? Was that what you're saying?
No.
Cross your heart bra. I made that joke to Hikaru, and he said, "What's a bra?"
I feel bad that we didn't get to thank him for the raid.
Hikaru?
Chess Bra. I think he'd already left the stream.
Yeah.
I've got a bad headache, too. I'm going to have to take more Advil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, watch your liver and kidneys, though. Taking too much Advil is bad for your insides.
Yeah, I don't take too much. At all.
I don't take enough, so that's bad for my insides. So tomorrow we're doing the cooking stream?
Yeah, but I have to figure out whether it's the unboxing or cooking.
Okay.
We do have a working cooktop now.
I made chili today, and Karen said it was the best chili I ever made.
It was.
Now, it wasn't the best, but I'll tell you what it was. It was the spiciest. I told Archer about it, and he didn't know that you had some. He says, yeah, but if you give her any, she'll just put more spices in it.
No, I didn't this time.
I know. I told her, I said, she already had some, and she didn't. He's like, what?
I know. It's crazy. What? Hey, you like the green food, C.L. Smith? I can't wait to try it out. And Mike Saylor, I agree. I know totally what you're saying. I started out, she was completely innocent. Then, so I kind of flopped with the other way. And then I heard more stuff, and I felt like guilty. And I still feel more guilty than not, but,
Vegan chili, obviously. All food I make is vegan.
It's not certain either way. So, probably just going to have to move on. If you don't have proof at some point, you have to move on. Yeah, the chili was really good.
Yeah, I put in more spicy spices. And also the kidney beans I bought were chili kidney beans. They were spicy. With a little jalapeno in them. But I put in a lot of cardamom? Cardamom?
I don't know.
Whatever that is, that spice you use.
I like...
What spices do you make it spicy with?
Red
I did that. I used
flakes.
that. What else?
That's the main one.
No, cayenne pepper.
Oh yeah, cayenne.
Yeah, I put cayenne, and I put some. I chopped up a jalapeno, and I put in the scary one, but I didn't chop it up.
Yay!
For flavor. What's the scary one called? Habanero.
Oh yeah.
She likes the spicy. ZL1 Corvette subscribed to tier 2. Wow. What is vegan chili? Normal chili. Right.
Cayenne isn't that spicy.
Vegan chili has more ingredients than corpse chili. The kind of chili you guys have.
The
terrible
red pepper flakes make it pretty spicy.
Mm-hmm. We both like spicy food.
Yeah, the poker group class lesson I took today was pretty difficult. But I'm enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a whole lot, but I'm going to learn it. I haven't played online since I got mad about the scam, but I'm going to play again. And I'm going to do some of those private tournaments that I'm in that group.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'll get ripped off less.
The chat has gone off the jump the shark over here.
Chocolate works so well. Delicious corpse chili.
Yeah, basically you're all banned.
Poker's easy. If you have a jack four, just go all in.
She didn't go all in. She called an all in. That's just a difference.
I know.
Going all in is fine. Calling all in is crazy. It's barely crazy.
Phil DeMasta, I'm originally from Alabama. I live in Georgia now. Where's the C.L. Smith? C.L. Smith, on a scale of 1 to 10, how strong is my Alabama accent?
So here's Fox News. Barack Obama campaign stops. Wisconsin, Michigan, Georgia. That's not Georgia.
Right. What is it?
That's like South Carolina.
No, what are you showing me there?
It's Fox News. It's a picture from their, things they
Oh,
were
it's
showing.
an 8? I just wasn't sure. I didn't have any kind of perspective on it. And I would only accept a rating from an Alabamian. That seems fair. 8.
Do they still love the governor in Birmingham? Yeah, here's the video. Is my sound off? Yeah.
I've seen it several times, but I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it's Hans's move. He's thinking. He picks up Hans's king, and Hans is like, Strota, and then he's playing with it. Then he takes the top off the king. And Hans is like, what's happening? It's my move. What are you doing? And he's like, you want your king, bitch? Bam! There's your stupid king.
None of that.
That was good. That was good. I did a good
Voiceover.
play-by-play there. I think Sevian just went crazy for a second. I was going crazy before he was born.
I'm still tired, Richter. I have to lay down, and I have to take Advil. Hay quickly watches TV.
Hans Niemann crosses 2,700 for the third time. Finally. Man, Hans Niemann's higher rated than Kamer. God damn. There's Robson with his 2701.
Yeah, he's...
All right, who should I raid? All right, before you answer. Ready? How old is Martha Stewart?
72.
81.
Oh.
God damn. Look, she looks good for 81.
I lost track of her. She does. Wow.
Yeah, probably all that pot from Snoop. That'd be my guess.
She does look pretty young.
Yeah.
When she was super young, she was real pretty. I think she might have done some modeling. Man, she does not look 81. I know who I want to raid.
Oh, Joey, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rate him. He doesn't say anything, but yeah.
He doesn't always pay
Man, we
attention.
dropped 0 frames. That's pretty
He
good.
always stoned too. Bye, everybody.
Raid. What is it, Chicago Joey Poker? Thanks for watching. Thanks to Hikaru for joining my stream.
Yeah, that was nice of Hikaru to come. I'm glad that he didn't stay too long.
Yeah. I was planning on doing all the games as him, but it was getting too hard to do it. It's hard to imitate him for an hour and a half. He's